The Codex of Power is one of your best friends in Diablo 4, and since the game release, it's gotten a huge upgrade. So whether you're brand new to the game, or returning after not playing for a while, this video is for you. So here's how it works. The Codex of Power is a collection of legendary aspects that can be used to add a legendary power to any rare item, or change the power of a legendary item to a different one that better suits your build. You can access the Codex of Power on keyboard and mouse by pressing the Y key and clicking on Codex of Power. If you're on controller, open your map and tab over to the collection screen and open the Codex of Power from there. The Codex of Power alone doesn't really do a whole lot. It's essentially a list of every available legendary power in the game that by default is filtered down to every power available to your class. You can search through this list to read about what the powers do to see if they'd be a good fit for your build. A good chunk of these powers can be unlocked by completing a dungeon on any difficulty, and the dungeon you need to complete will be listed here. To easily hunt down these powers, you can simply click on it with a mouse, or press the A button on an Xbox controller, or the X button on a PlayStation controller, and this will pin it onto your map. This will create an easy-to-follow path to that dungeon. All dungeons that have unlockable aspects will show up on the map with this icon. Once you navigate to and complete that dungeon, you'll see a message that states that this legendary Codex power has been unlocked. Alternatively, if the Codex power lists salvage a legendary item with this power to unlock, you must first find that power on a legendary piece of gear that you find in the world, and then salvage it at the blacksmith. Most legendary powers will have multiple ranks to them. Some will only have one rank, while some can have over 20. If you unlock a power from completing a dungeon, it will always unlock the minimum rank of 1 for that power, but salvaging a legendary item at the blacksmith will grant you the rank from the item that you salvaged. So for example, if you salvage one that had rank 16 out of 21, you will now permanently have rank 16. If you find a higher rank of the same power later, you can salvage that one to upgrade the power in your codex, until you reach the max rank unlocked, which will then highlight that aspect in your codex in this yellowish gold color. So now that you have these powers unlocked within your Codex of Power, how do we apply them? That's where the occultist comes in. You can find the occultist in all major town hubs indicated on the map with this icon. From here, adding a legendary power to an item is pretty simple. You can select any rare or legendary item and place it within the top slot of the occultist's Imprint Aspect tab. From there, you can then open the Codex of Power dialog from the center of this interface, which will open up all of the appropriate aspect types for that item slot. Offensive Codex powers can be added to amulets, weapons, gloves, and rings. Defensive Codex powers can be added to offhands, helmets, chest pieces, pants, and amulets. Utility Codex powers can be added to offhands, helmets, chest pieces, pants, amulets, gloves, and boots. Mobility Codex powers can be added to amulets and boots. And finally, Resource Codex powers can be added to amulets and rings. One important thing to note here is that any Codex power applied to a two-handed weapon slot will have its power increased by 100%, doubling its power. And any power applied to an amulet will have its power increased by 50%, or 1.5 times its power. Once you choose your piece of gear and the Codex power you wish to apply, it'll warn you that this cannot be undone, and it will bind it to your account, making it untradeable. This is important because if you overwrite a legendary power that you haven't already extracted from an item into your Codex of Power, replacing it with a new power will mean that you'll have to find that power again later to extract it. If an item can be salvaged to unlock or upgrade one of your powers, it'll be indicated with this symbol on the item in your inventory. After playing for a while and salvaging a bunch of legendaries that may not have been upgrades for you, it's worth checking in with the occultist now and then. You might have upgrades waiting to be imprinted. It's very possible that you may have found an upgrade to one or more of your powers that'll give you a nice little power boost to your character. Hopefully this clears up any confusion you may have had with the Codex of Power. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below, or head over to my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/Rizarjay, where I'm always happy to help answer any questions you might have.